Hi, this is Pete Royce, the Director for Evangelical Mission of the Southeastern Minnesota Synod, and it's that time of year again. It's time for congregational annual reports. Exciting, isn't it? This year it actually is. In the past, congregational reports were all about hard data, and so it took one or two people to fill it out because you needed simple things like how many members do we have? How many people were baptized? What kind of money came in? What did we spend money on? All things that just a few people can figure out. This all went into a trend report so that you can look back over the history of your congregation and see how are things going. When congregations are in the call process, often candidates look at these trend reports as a snapshot of a congregation. But the reality is, those numbers don't tell the whole story of what's going on in a congregation, because there's much more depth to a congregation's ministry than just people and money. So this year, the ELCA is doing something very different with the congregational trend report. All the usual questions you expect to see there are still there. But this year there's an additional portion, and it's from the ELCA's Congregational Vitality Survey. This is something that was put together to really help congregations get into a conversation of who are we and how in the world are we doing. Now, the Congregational Vitality Survey is a much bigger thing than is available through this trend report, but they boiled it down to a very small piece, to 15 questions for your congregation to think through. And these are some questions like, does your congregation nurture people's faith? Kind of put that on a scale of 1 to 5. Or is there excitement about the congregation's future? Or is your congregation a positive force in the community? Or other questions like, how well does your congregation manage disagreements in a healthy and respectful manner? Or how do you equip members to share their faith with others? There's 15 questions, all on a scale of 1 to 5, to really sit down and think about. Now, the hard data, 1 or 2 people can come up with the answers. But with these questions, it takes a little bit more, because 1 or 2 people only have their own perspectives. So what we're asking for you to do is to widen the conversation, to get perspective from many other people. So I know time is short this year, so if you could even sit down with a few leaders, with your congregational council, if you are able to do this with your whole congregation, resources are available at the congregationalvitalitysurvey.com. If you go there, click on the resources tab, there's a couple of different pieces there. One is an annual parochial report discussion guide that has all the questions, but then some ways to talk about it. And the other is just simply the participant short survey. If you want to take the short survey, hand that out in the congregation on a Sunday morning, have somebody average them up for you and put the numbers in. That's one way to do it. Another is to take the discussion guide, get a group of people together, think through these questions, and then again, come up with your average answers and put those on there. This is a new thing the ELCA is doing, and we will see this for quite some time, I believe. So if you fill this out, this will help to give a good snapshot of your congregation over a number of years over these questions. So this is the beginning of a new way of thinking about how do we keep track of the health and the vitality of our congregations. If you go to the congregationalvitalitysurvey.com, there are tons of resources and many videos where you can get a lot deeper than what this has. But this is a good start to open the conversation. So I encourage you to get some people together, think these questions through, so that you can have the best responses possible as you fill out your survey. Thank you. Welcome aboard.